Welcome to NPR Virtual Solutions. My name is Andrea Le Musique, and I'll be your presenter today. And also, I happen to be the founder of this amazing rated 5-star on Glassdoor, totally awesome company. And even though I love to joke around, but the truth is, we really are. We're pretty amazing. We have been around for a very long time. Working from home is not new for us. When the pandemic hit, our people did not miss a beat because we were already home. So, we've got a lot of experience in this, and we're very, very happy that we're able to do what we do for our global community. We can hire in the United States, also Canada, and the United Kingdom. And we just a really awesome place to work. Now, why are we doing this video? Because we're firm believers on full transparency. I don't know about you, but sometimes when you're looking for, income opportunity, a job, you just, whatever it is, you just want, can somebody just break it down for me? Like, why do I have to go through so much just to get a straight answer on what am I going to be doing? How much am I going to make? What's in it for me? Why should I work here? And it's one of those things where you got to go through all this stuff just to get to an interview, just to ask those questions. And because what if I don't want to be here? What if you're going to tell me something and I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to be here. Then now the interview is wasting time. It's wasted your time. And we, as with everything that we do, we're unconventional in a lot of different ways. And so this is one of them, because we're firm believers. I'm a firm believer that before you even apply for a job, you should have enough information about it to really know if you want to work for that company and if that job is really going to fit what your goals are, period. So here we go. So the first thing is about who we are. Well, who we are a business services company, meaning that if you've got a business, and business for us can be a variable of things. It could be corporate, but it could also be you being a musician, or it could be you being a writer, or it could be you being a model. It could be anything, because it could be a church, because at the end of the day, there is business that has to happen in order for you to do something. If you're presenting it to the community in any capacity, there's some type of business aspect that goes along with that, period. So we pretty much handle everything when it comes to businesses, all types, all shapes, all sizes, whether it's media, entertainment, it doesn't matter. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is that we try to make everything accessible. I have always found it to be very unfair that large companies seem to always be able to get bigger, while small companies sometimes have a really hard time in getting started. People love to tell you how the average small business is going to fail in 2 years and the average singer is never going to get discovered. People love to say that. And the only real reason that that is so true, 9 times out of 10, sometimes, when it comes to entertainment and music, it could be because legitimately somebody told Tyrone that he could sing and he really can't. That can happen. But generally speaking, it's because of finances. So what we do is we have these abilities to do apps, and you'll learn about all the different things we do. And while, yes, we absolutely work for large companies, which is why we have all these customer service positions that we're about to talk about, but we also will do it for that person that is sitting at their kitchen table with a 99-cent spiral notebook, and inside it is the next best thing for the global community. And where's he going to get, or she going to get, the resources that she needs to be that next big thing? Sometimes that's not easy. So we meet people where they are. That's who we are. And as you can see, if you go, I guess, a little bit by my personality, we're very transparent and we really care. And we're pretty down to earth here. We are a company that does not discriminate against anyone, regardless of race, creed, color, orientation, or religion. We believe everyone should be treated as equals, and we try to ensure that everyone is looked out for. As a private company, we do unapologetically mention God in scriptures at times. We have a prayer group and a Bible study called NPR Virtual Solutions. Get it? Solutions. And that's all voluntary. You can be a part of it. You cannot participate. You can think it's stupid. It's all good. It's just something that is available to people that work here. But again, everyone and anyone can work here. And we just want to make sure that whoever applies here is aware of this, because we don't want someone to feel some type of way if somebody says, like, hey, how you doing? Oh, well, I'm having a really rough time. This happened and that happened. Well, you know what? We'll definitely be praying for you. You can say that at this company, and it is what it is. So just we want to make sure that everyone is comfortable with that, because if you're not, you probably don't want to work here, because we're going to pray for you. We're going to pray for you. All right. So, and I'm joking. I'm joking, but I'm serious. I don't want you to think that people are running around slapping people on foreheads or just saying, "Can I pray with you?" It's not like that. We're a corporation, but we do give people the ability to just be who they are, because at the end of the day, I personally feel that the CEO of this company is God, because he gave me this idea and this concept and this ability to be able to do what I'm doing for my community. So, I just like to give him the props that he deserves. So that's just how we are. Now, why are we the way we are as a company? Why are we so different? Why are we doing this video? Why do we work from home? Because we have a motto, and it's our trademark, that work should be scheduled around life and not the other way around. There are too many people out there that are spending so much time working, getting to work, getting home from work, that they do not have the opportunity to enjoy the very life that they are working for and the people that they love that are in it. And it's wrong. And then it's just this concept that we should work like these rats on a wheel until we're too old to go anywhere or do anything, and hope that we have Social Security and some parachute that allows us to have our latter days, and being, old, is when we finally get to say, woosah, I can enjoy life now. What? I don't know about you. I am not trying to wait until I have wrinkles in order to be able to enjoy life. I'm not hearing that. So I'm a firm believer that whether you are 18 and you're just getting started working, you're in college and you need a job that's going to have that flexibility so you can go to class and get the classes that you want, or whether you are a stay-at-home mom that just wants extra income, or to be able to help, the income in the family, but at the same time you want, or you be a single parent like I was, and watch, your kids at the same time and still be able to pay for your bills. What sciatica, you can't sit down long, so you need to have the flexibility of working. And we'll get more into this later, but we are the way we are. Why we are is because we believe that your life should be the top priority, not the job. Now, what I mean by that is that if you have the ability to live, then when you come to work, you will not look at it as this thing you have to rue and, just just have a whole problem with. It's a stress factor, and it shouldn't be. So we've designed our entire company from the top executive all the way down to someone that's doing admin or our chat support. It doesn't matter. They work on a schedule that allows them to have a life. So that's why we do what we do the way we do it. I was, like I said, for a few years, I was a single parent. When my late husband and when I were separated, and it wasn't easy. It was not easy at all. And we were separated for a minute, like years. Okay. So I'm just being honest. And, you know, having small kids at the time, I had 4 children. um it was just hard, with daycare and everything. It was so difficult, and it seemed like as fast as I made money, it just went out the door. And you know and how much money, when it came to getting to work, getting from work, daycare was it's absurd how much people charge for that. It was a lot, and it was very, very stressful. And then later on, down the road, I had my last child, and I was, older. So, the pregnancy was very difficult. Now, by that time, I was no longer, working for someone. I had my own corporation, and we were in a building, a high rise, in Atlanta. And as I had to be on bed rest and work from home more and more, because of my background in design and things like that, it became more important for me to figure out how everybody else could do it. Because if I was doing it, why shouldn't they too? And because there were other people in my company, that were pregnant, and so I wanted to do things for them and for everybody else, whether it's mom or dad, or somebody that's single, their time should be their own. And so it took a while, but here we are. And so everything that we do in the company is designed from a standpoint of thinking about what you need. Because at the end of the day, the people that work here, our team comes first. You guys are the most important, because if you don't get treated right, you're not going to treat our clients right, or our clients' customers when you're on the phone. So we try to do everything we can to take care of you. So what the jobs that we usually hire for are the ones that you see on the screen: customer service. We also have virtual assistants. Here we do a lot of consulting services as well. So we do have a team, a staff of people that will analyze what is needed to make sure that that business, or business concept, it comes to fruition properly. We do social media management a lot. We are the type of company that can literally grow an Instagram account into millions in a matter of 2 to 3 months. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, it's a real thing, not bots, So there are companies out there that do that. We happen to be one of them that's very successful at it. And we're so successful, I'm not gonna lie, we got a chip on our shoulders about it, because because if for some reason that, let's say somebody's following drops a little bit, we actually will make sure we do another campaign to put it back where it was at no charge. So that's how confident we are that we can do what we do. Like, we know we've got it. So we also, of course, as I said, do digital marketing, social media following increases, and web and app development and design. A lot of people don't realize that you got to figure out the brain of what is this going to do? What's going to happen when this client clicks here? Where do they go? That's development, and design. And that's even before the coding. And that's very, very important. And we do the coding too. When you go into your interview, if you want to discuss sales positions, or to find out if, some of the things that I've said, you're like, "Ooh, I might want to work in that department." Feel free, go to the services area, excuse me, of our website, and you'll be able to see the other departments that we have. And if it's something that you're interested in, feel free to ask about it. If we have a job available, a lot of times we go internally first anyway. And of course, there are some more specs and things that are required. We'll let you know what those are in this video, for the customer service position specifically. That slide was weird, wasn't it? All right, so what are you guys going to be doing? Inbound customer service, independent contractors that take inbound customer service calls for Fortune 400 and Fortune 500 companies like Disney, ADT, Home Depot, and many, many more, Coach, even just a lot more. And these jobs require a certification class to be taught. Now, these certification classes are no different. Excuse me. Oh my God, I need water. They're no different than a class that you would take if you were trying to become a nurse or a firefighter or a phlebotomist. You're learning a skill set, but the only difference is that these courses are very specifically geared towards that company. Just one moment, because I've got to take some water. Just a moment. Oh my God, that's going to be on the recording like forevermore on the website. Well, I'm sorry, but I had to take some water. So the only difference with these certification jobs, oh my God, my throat. I'm so sorry. Hold on. The only thing about these certification classes is that they're geared specifically for that company. So if we're hiring for Home Depot, that means that course, that certification course, is specifically for you to be a Home Depot customer service agent. And when you finish that class, you're already working for them. So like in the class, you go from being in a instructor environment probably for about 2 weeks or so, sometimes 3. And then, oh my goodness, excuse me. And then from there, you go into working on the phone. So you'll still be in a classroom environment in the sense that, let's say you pick a morning class, and we have morning, morning and evening classes, and sometimes we'll have an afternoon class. So let's say that you did a morning class from 9 to 11 or 12, depending on how long the class is. When the first 2 weeks, you're going to be on a Zoom. Right now, that's what they're using. It could change. We used to use GoToMeeting, just whatever technology is really the one that works at the time. But right now it's Zoom, right? Which is why interviews are done in Zoom. And so in that Zoom recording, you're in a classroom with an instructor with, slides, kind of like the one that you're seeing now. And they're going over the different things that you have to do and the software that you're going to have to learn from, to be able to do from home in order to do the job. Well, around the second or third week, depending on the campaign, now instead of being in an instructor-based environment from 9 to 12, you're actually physically on the phone from 9 to 12. So certification classes is really the main area where your schedule has to kind of be really set in stone, because if you're taking a class Monday through Friday, that's from 9 to 12, you have to be there Monday through Friday, 9 to 12, every single day. You cannot miss. They will drop you just like that. And there's actually a fee. Like, there's no fee for the course. Okay. That's free. But if you drop the course, they're going to charge you $20. Okay. So because you wasted people's time. And if you sign up for the class and don't show up on the first day, they're also going to charge you $20, because again, you're wasting people's time. And these classes, and obviously the instructors, they get paid for that. So that somebody had to pay them, right? And it wasn't you. So they want to make sure that when people go to class, they're really serious. So when you do the classes, you got to take it serious. This is one of those things where you can just hop from one to the other. You can drop a class and go into a different campaign. I've done that. No names mentioned to which company, but I as an owner of a company, as the founder, I still do certification classes, because I'm a firm believer in not making anybody else do something I wouldn't do. So a lot of times I'll take courses, especially if it's a new client, because I want to know, what are you making my people do? And there was this one course, I'm not even kidding, I just was like, you know what, no. I was like, so I had to go. I was like, I can't do this. Nope, not gonna do it. And so that can happen. And so if it happens, you just let us know. And, like I said, it's going to be a $20 fee. It is what it is. But, you let us know and go into a different class. So I don't want you to feel like you're stuck. And I think that's one of the things about us as a company that, again, is very, very different, because we will give you that flexibility. Like, okay, if Disney's not working for you, that's cool. Why don't you try out, Coach, or QuickBooks, or something like that. So there's a lot of different companies, again, to choose from. So you've got a lot of flexibility. So you can really find which clients of ours is going to fit you, right? And because we want you to be successful. And when you're happy, you tend to be more successful. Now we'll talk about, the opportunities once you're at the client in a minute, but I just wanted to make sure you understood a little bit about what you're going to do. It's inbound calls only, never outbound. Nope, inbound. Now, if you go into recruitment or sales, yes, then you'd have outbound calls. But for the inbound customer service department, everything is inbound only. Okay. And remember, again, these courses are not at your expense unless, of course, you drop it, or you don't show up at all. So let's talk about, a couple of details, or the deets, as my children would say. I know if they were listening, which they're not, my grown children would tell me I sound old just saying that, but that's all right. I said it's too late. It's being recording. It's done. So number one, pay. Now, as you can tell, I like to talk. So I'm going to tell you about the pay, but I got to do a little setup first. Okay. I know you're like, oh Lord. No, seriously, let me explain. So a lot of people are really misguided, and I'm going to get on my soapbox for 10 seconds. They're really misguided on what working at a regular job is about when it comes to finances. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is that the average person that's making, without exaggeration, about $21 to $22 an hour is probably only taking home somewhere around 14 or 15. That is the truth. Excuse me. And why? Because the average national average for taxes being taken out, that government loan that we do in the name of they can borrow our money interest free and then give us a portion of it back and we get really happy once a year, that income tax. And I'm joking, but I'm not joking. So 24% is the average that gets taken out of someone's check. So you already have 1/4 of that $21 for every hour that you're working gone. Like, just poof, it's out the door. And God help you if you're getting stuff taken out for 401k, for your health insurance plan, and if daycare, all of that. So that's, that goes without saying. Then on top of it, you got to get there. You got to get to work. So now, especially with gas prices looking like zip codes, it's like you got to deal with that. So by the time you actually get a check that gets to your bank account that you can spend, you've spent half of it. And the rest of it, it just goes very quickly, because the truth is you're not making what they say you're making, right? And this is okay for most everyone, honestly. But when you work as an independent contractor, it's not like that. You bring home what you actually make. And if they're like, oh, some people say, oh my God, well, what? No taxes are being taken out? Well, no, I'm not loaning my money to the government for no reason. And I'm not. If you don't have to believe me, yes, it is a perspective of looking at it, but it's the truth. It's an interest-free loan. What do you think they do with that money when they take it? And why do you think they're willing to give it back in income tax? Because of that, because they borrowed it from you. So all we do is we just say, no, we'll go ahead and give you what we need to give you when we're supposed to give it to you. And if you're a 1099 person, as opposed to receiving the W-2, you file it the exact same way and you get the same exact credits. The only difference is that if you choose to, you get more deductions than you would normally have. Now, a portion of your mortgage or your rent, a portion of every utility from water to gas to electricity is all times 12 months a deduction. So now you can say this is a deduction. You also get to deduct your phone bill completely, your cell phone bill and your landline bill if you have one. Now, nowadays we don't really need landlines too much, but it's always a good idea to have as a backup. So you can deduct both of those, completely. Your internet bill, deduct the whole thing. All of that times 12 months. That's a lot of money. So if you get child care credits or dependent credits and all this sort of stuff, you still get that. You don't lose anything, but you do get to have some of the expenses of every day, your home being a part of something that you can also get credits for, because now your work is at your house, and that is a great, great benefit. So with that being said, our pay ranges somewhere usually between 12 and 14. It can go as low as 11. It can go as high as 15. Okay. And again, that is straight take home, nothing being taken out. There you have it. Now, we do have one thing that does come out every revenue cycle, and that is a fee that the portal, the software that we use to connect your home computers, the thing that keeps your home computer safe to actually receive all of this information from a corporate client without it there being a worry of there being theft. That company does take $19.75 out of the revenue before it reaches us. So that's the only thing that is deducted ever, one time each revenue period. So other than that, there's nothing taken out at all, So with that being said, let's talk about healthcare. Yes, there are actually healthcare options, and I'm not talking about Medicaid. Just for the people that thought that was the only thing out there. There actually are actual plans that we will help you guys if that's something you're interested in. You can make sure that you set up a time. For the state of Georgia, we have a representative that actually will find you the health plan. We're working on having that in every state. Um, but we do have a federal level program that we're able to help you with to make sure that you have health care. There is a premium. It's not the worst in the world, depending on which campaign, not campaign, oh Lord, depending on which plan you get. It's not that bad. It can be, maybe 100 or 200 if you're single and you don't have dependents. I have dependents, so mine was around, I'm trying to remember, it's around, I want to say 260. And I have, like you go to the doctor office visit and stuff, you don't pay for anything, that type of stuff. So it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. So if you want healthcare, that option is available to you for medical, dental, and what's the other one? Vision. The onboarding process, let's talk a little bit about that. The onboarding process takes about a week, generally speaking, if a person is really serious. If they're not, it can take longer or, whatever. But if you're really just doing what you're supposed to do, you're turning your paperwork, your identification stuff that we have to get with HR. You watch the videos that you're supposed to watch for orientation, all that sort of stuff. And then you pick out your class and you get enrolled and all that. It's a pretty streamlined structure. You have help the entire time, which goes in number 4, which is support. We're really big about support. So at no time will you feel confused or alone. I don't know about you, but I have been at work from home jobs where you get into a class and then after class, they're like, well, that's it. Time for you to get on the phone, go for it. And you don't know, you're like, wait, what? Okay. And then if you have a question, there is nobody to talk to. The chat support that they have, you're like, Lord, have mercy. It's just, you can't do anything with it. And you sit there feeling totally frustrated, discombobulated, and you don't know what to do. You will never have that problem here. There is support all over the place. And we're not just big about support in terms of the job that you're doing. We're also big about supporting you. We have, with the help of 211.org United Way, resources that allow us to help and find places that can help you with food, shelter, utilities, clothing, domestic violence rescue. If you feel like you want to harm yourself or harm someone else, to try and get you to someone that can help you understand just how worthy and valuable you are. We're very big about mental health here. So we have classes, free classes that range from dealing with grief to how to have a more positive mindset, how to deal with anxiety, all kinds of stuff. So we're really big about support. We're really here for you. You also will have the ability to have conversations and friendships with other people that work in the company, if that's something you want to do. Now, if you don't want to and you just want to do your job and keep it moving, that's fine too. It's up to you. But the resources and the availability to have a community is there, which kind of skipped a little bit because it kind of goes into our company vibe and culture, number 7, because we really do have an amazing company vibe. Where it's a place where you want to go to work. It's a place where you don't feel like, oh God, I got to go to work. You don't feel like that. You actually enjoy going to work, and you know that there are people there that you can kind of relate to, because we all have kind of a similar, like, I don't know, one of my daughters would say energy. But we all have, we're just kind of laid back people, we're very professional. We get the job done. But we also are real people, and we allow everyone else to be real and be themselves too. Like everything. Like one of my we've got all kinds of people, and they're into all kinds of different stuff. You mean that you could possibly think of. So it's really great. It's like we're all very diverse, lot of diversity here as well. Let's see, what else? Where was I? Oh, different campaigns. We have several clients that we hire for. So the campaigns can range from retail to cruise lines to products, transportation, roadside assistance, just a lot of different genres of business that you can be taking calls for. And, also things that deal with accounting, like accounting softwares and things like that. So depending on your acumen and where you're comfortable, you get to pick your campaign. We don't pick it for you. You pick it. Now you will have to do an assessment, and it's only one time, but we do have you do an assessment. We give you a little cheat sheet, just to help you pass it. But you do have to take an assessment, because obviously we have to make sure that you're articulate, that you know proper grammar, and that you have a professional background and things like that. I'm so glad I have Great Pyrenees, and so far they have not barked. Yay. They are sitting right next to me. Watch them do it just because I said that. So we want to make sure there's good, quiet background, things like that. So there is an assessment that you have to take. But just once, and then you can go into any campaign you want. In terms of stability, I heard that the national average right now of staying at the same company is like a year and a half. I heard it's like actually lower, because it used to be 2 years. And that's sad. Our grandparents, and depending on your age, means I'm giving away mine, your great grandparents were able to stay at companies for till retirement. They give them a watch and a big bonus or something, and they're able to live their latter years out comfortably. You can't do that now. You just can't. It's probably not going to happen unless you work for the post office or something like that. So, excuse me, stability has become a big factor. And one thing I've been hearing from, especially in recent months since COVID, one thing I have been hearing is that companies are now very unapologetic about getting rid of you, suddenly at that. We're like, 1 minute you've got plenty of hours, everything's cool. The next minute, you log in and there are no hours available. I can truly and utterly say that you are not going to have that problem here. You're not. If anything, we're going to have more available than you can work. And and that's because of two factors. One, our average campaign, there are two types. One is a regular campaign, and that for that one, the minimum that you can work is usually between 10 to 15 hours. It ranges more now at 15 hours. That's minimum. Now, maximum on that regular campaign could be 40 or 50 hours, But again, you're making your own schedule, which we're going to get into. So excuse me, you decide how many hours you want to work. So for somebody that's trying to work full time, it's not a hard thing to do, and they're consistent. And the best part is that these jobs are pretty permanent. Like, for example, we used to hire for a company called Comcast, which does internet and cable in the southeastern region. To my knowledge, I don't know if they're anywhere else, but I know they're in the southeastern region. And we don't hire for them anymore. They didn't leave us, excuse me, for any bad. I'm so sorry for clearing my throat, guys. They didn't leave us for any bad reason or anything. They just have enough people, right? And we have people that, even though we don't hire for them anymore, they still work there. And one woman, I think she's it's like her 13th year or something like that, 13th or 14th year. So you can work a long time on a campaign. We also allow you to work on more than one campaign if you want to. You just can't train for more than one at the same time. You have to do your classes one at a time, because we want you to concentrate and really do it well. But other than that, if you like this one company and then you say, you know what, I like that one too, and you want that more hours or that flexibility, whatever the case may be, you can do that. But one thing you're not going to have to worry about, as long as you're doing your job, okay, and you're doing it properly, you're meeting the matrix that's provided by the client, things like that, you're not going to have to worry about one day just coming into work and then saying, oh, sorry, we don't have any more work. That's not going to happen. So excuse me, again, going to company vibe and culture, it's pretty amazing. We're very supportive of one another. We care about one another. We give people space, as much space as they need. And the only thing that we really expect is for you to show up to work when you say you're going to be there, and to do a great job while you're there. That's it. That's the only two requirements you got. Do a good job and show up on time. That's it. So let's go a little bit more deeper into it. I am so sorry for clearing my throat 1,500 times. Oh my God, it was a big one. And you know what? You weren't supposed to hear it. I actually tried to press the mute button and I pressed the wrong button. So you got the whole cough there. So sorry. So the orientation stipend is based on Georgia state minimum wage. Sorry, it's small, but it's there, and it's really because you have to like watch a lot of videos, and it comes to about 4 hours worth of videos that you're watching, and we just want to encourage you to get things done in a timely fashion. So I muted that time. I had a big old cough. Anyway, couldn't hear it. But we want to encourage you to do the best job that you can. So if you enroll within a certain period of time, which you'll learn about in orientation, which is about 72 hours, once you get to a certain point, and you pass the class, you work at least 90 days or 60 hours to meet contract requirements consistently, you just do your job. Then you automatically just get a bonus in your check, for that orientation stipend for the time that you spent watching videos. And that's before class. These are you have to get oriented, right? Even before you go to class. So I mentioned earlier about picking your own hours. So when I say pick your own hours, a lot of people automatically think that means picking your own shift. And that's not what I mean. I literally mean picking your own hour down to a 30-minute interval at a time. So in other words, if you wanted to work from 7 to 10, and then you needed to stop and didn't want to come back because your favorite, show comes on at 11:30, and you didn't want to go back to work until 1 or 1:30, and then work until 3, and then you got to stop because let's, hypothetically say this is a person with kids, and then they can't work anymore because they got to cook, they got to take care of the kids, they got to get in bed. So then they can come back to work around 9 to 11. They could do that. You can literally work whatever hours work for you as long as they are available for that client. And we do have clients that want overnight hours as well. So, we have some clients that they literally have phone lines open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Not all of them, but we do have a few that do that. Most of the hours are going to be between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m., generally speaking. But we do specifically have about 2 or 3 companies that we hire for regularly that have overnight hours. So no matter what hours you're looking for, chances are you're going to find what you're looking for, And even if the campaign wasn't available today, it could be available in 3 days. And if we know that that's what you're looking for, that could cause a delay, right? Because we have to wait until the next class or something like that. But at the end of the day, you're gonna find what you're looking for. So that works out great. So remember, when it comes to your class, you can pick whether it's a morning, afternoon, or evening class that's available. But when you pick your class, you have to be there Monday through Friday, same time, same bat channel, and you cannot be absent. If you have more than one absent, they will drop you like a hot potato. So just so you know. All right, moving on. So one of the downsides, like if you took a phlebotomy class or nursing or becoming an EMT, is that when you take a class, they don't pay you to sit there and learn, And this, unfortunately, is no different. During the instructor-based portion of the class, which can be anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks, a couple of campaigns I've seen it at 4, but generally speaking, it's 2 to 3 weeks. You're in an environment where you're in a classroom. Bottom line, the best way to look at it is we call it phase 1, and phase 1 is when you're in front of an instructor. As soon as they put you on the phone, you are able to start working. I mean, let me say that again. As soon as you're on the phone, you're able to start earning, right? And so anytime you're on the phone, you're earning money. So that's it. But in that instructor-based part, you're not. So you have to look at it that it is a class where you're investing your time. Okay. And they're investing in you too, because you're not paying for the class and they paid an instructor to come there and teach you. So it's a give. They make sure that you've got some skin in the game, if you will. Now, once you're on the phone, that's it. You're getting paid, during that time. You will take calls during quote unquote class time, but you're getting paid for it. And then if you're comfortable, you will also be able to schedule work hours outside of the class time as well, while you're still in that certification nesting phase. I'm sitting here doing air quotes like you guys can see that. But yes, you can, while you're in the nesting phase, you can work as well. And so you don't have to worry about there being a limitation of hours. Now, because we know, depending on what type of situation you're coming from, going a couple of weeks without pay is just not easy and or might be impossible to do. And the good part is once you get it over with, you're done. You never have to go through this again in life, like until you're like 90. But the bottom line is that that's still difficult. So during that time, we do have commission jobs available that you can do for the company while you're getting through that, while you're waiting for class. Because even when you sign up for class, it doesn't mean it's going to start in a day. It could start, the following Monday. It could start 2 Mondays from whenever you enrolled. It depends on which class you enrolled in, right? So there's going to be that gap of income. And so we want to do something to kind of counterbalance that. And that's why we have some commission jobs that are available to you if you want to do them while you wait, because we understand that can be a challenge, because it really can. Another thing I want to mention is that this is a great job for people of any walk of life. So if you have a disability, not a problem. This should be something that you can do. Even we have a lot of people, well, not a lot, but we have several people that have sciatica, where they can't sit for long periods of time. So having that flexibility of even being able to work down to the 30-minute interval, if they need to work 30 minutes, get off the phone for 30 minutes, work 30 minutes, or work an hour, take a break, a 30-minute break, and then go back to it, they can do that and have that flexibility. So that works really well. You actually also can work this a certain number of hours for people that are on disability, because there is a certain amount of money they cannot make. So if that's the case too, you just have to find out what those maximums or minimums are, and you can do this job. This is great for college kids, college students. I guess I shouldn't call them kids, but college students, medical students, etc. Well, maybe not medical. I don't know about that because they got a lot going on. But for college students, it allows you that flexibility of being able to take the classes that you want without being like, oh, well, I can't take this class because I got to work, on that day. So now you can actually schedule your work around your class schedule. So it works great for students and probably medical students too, because you guys have bills, So I know a lot of y'all work 2 and 3 jobs. So this one might work great. So that way you can stay home and rest, instead of having to worry about driving all over the place. So it works for everybody. Great for musicians, because sometimes being creative and artistic does not always pay well. So you can have this. You start in a business, but you still got to pay bills in the meantime. Here you go. So things like that. And see those messages that just popped up. I don't know if you were able to see that or not, but if so, that's some of the groups that we have for the different agents to be able to communicate with each other. So let's go on. Let's move on. Tech requirements. You will be using your own computer. We do not supply equipment. Now, by the time this video is released, we will be working on establishing relationships with, we found 109 companies that do give out equipment. So we're working on it. But as of right now, no, you have to have your own computer. It must be a PC. It can be a desktop. It can be a laptop, but it can't be a Chromebook, and it can't be an all-in-one. Sorry. And in terms of Mac, I know that our client Home Depot is compatible with Mac computers, so you're good there. Not sure about the rest of them though. So just being honest. So this is a great place to pause the video and just take a picture of that. So that way, if you're getting a computer just to work, you know the specs to look for when you're looking for your computer online or at Walmart or wherever it is. Fun fact, great place to find a very cheap computer for work is at a pawn shop. I learned this from one of our agents, and they found the perfect computer, relatively brand new, for $70. I was like, wow, same computer cost me $1,500. I was a little irritated. I'm just saying. So, there's, if you're concerned about that, it's a great investment to have a computer. I think everyone nowadays should have at least one computer in the house. So, to use for work and other things. And if you're not very computer savvy, don't worry, because we will help you. We actually have free classes just for that, to help get you acclimated, to make sure that you can do your job properly. So, for those of you all that it's a new situation, no problem. We got you. Now, here are the rules that you must follow. Number one, you have to have a quiet background. Please do not have Billy screaming in the background, running after Sue and yelling, Mom! No, no dogs barking in the background. If you live by a train, I can't help you. You just might have to mute the phone, because I don't want you to not work because of that. But at the end of the day, we've got to try and have a quiet background. Now, I have to say, it's a little bit less strict since COVID. Before COVID, no company wanted anyone to ever think that they had an agent working in their PJs at their own house. They just saw it as a sign of unprofessionalism. Now, after COVID, go figure, people are working from home all the time. And so it's not uncommon to maybe hear a little bit of background noise. But for the most part, most companies still want you to have nothing interfering with that conversation. Number two, you must be able to attend class every day, Monday through Friday. Have a doctor's appointment. So sad. I hate to hear it. You better have Zoom on your phone and be inside the class on Zoom auditing while you're in the doctor, and put them on mute. I'm telling you, don't miss class. So you have to be in class. Number three, you must be able to keep your commitment when you say you are going to work. So if you choose to be at work from, let's say, 8 to 10 a.m., do not log in at 8:15. You can log in at 7:45 if you want. And if a call lasts longer than that, I'm sorry for these pop-ups. If a call lasts longer than that, let's say you're working from 8 to 10, but have you ever had that happen if you're in customer service where it's like 9:59 and 58 seconds, and you're like, oh my God, I've got 2 seconds and then I can get out of this off of these headsets. And then at exactly 9:59 and 52 seconds, bing, thank you for calling. Oh my God. So now you gotta deal with that last call. And I had that happen once, and that call took almost 4 hours. I was working for Airbnb at the time on that campaign, and I was so like, oh my God. And so it was one of those things, I had to be on the phone for 4 extra hours after the time I had committed to. So for those of you all that are wondering, yes, you would get paid for that. So if you're on the phone, you're getting paid. You must have a professional demeanor. While I am joking and being very much myself on here, I guarantee you that when I am on the phone speaking with a client, my voice is going to change ever so slightly and have a different level of demeanor and professionalism in it. And then the next one is that you must be able to work independently. Now, I'm joking again, but you obviously, a lot of you may not have a radio voice. I don't want you to feel that that's a requirement, because yes, I did used to be on the radio and still do things of such nature and voiceovers, but you do have to have a professional demeanor and voice. You must be able to work independently. Now, while yes, we do have a lot of support, we have more than, I won't say any other company because I don't know every company, but I know we have, based on what agents have told me and what we see in suggestion boxes and et cetera, we have more than most. Okay. But you are working from home, which means that you're going to be given resources to figure things out. And while we will hold your hand as long as we need to, you do need to have a sense of independence about yourself, where you can figure things out. You understand? We don't mind, but you need to be able to be independent. And last, you must be able to read written instruction. Again, we're working from home. You're not going to be getting a bunch of phone calls coming into you other than the ones of the customers that you're talking to. So the way we communicate is in a text environment, if you will. It's either going to be on email, or right now, at the time of this video, we use a software for computers. And also there's an app on your phone called Telegram, which works really great for corporate reasons. I've heard some bad sides about Telegram. And to those people that think Telegram is bad, let me explain something to you. There are people that do dumb stuff on every single social media or communication platform known to mankind: Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, whatever other things they got going on. There, Discord even, like you can find foolishness anywhere. The question is, are you going to deal with it? Like, don't click on stuff that you don't recognize, and don't answer messages from people you don't know. It's just pretty much that simple. So for people always running around, they're like, oh, you gotta be careful because that could be, yeah, a scam. Really? You serious? Like, why are you clicking on stuff? That's my question. All right. But anyway, back to me. I'm sorry, being myself. But yes, you have to definitely be able to read written instructions. Very, 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 very super important. So no can do's for certain states. I apologize, but according to the laws of those states or areas, we are not able to hire in inbound customer service in the following areas. However, you can work in other departments besides customer service. So please, if you're in one of these states, California, Connecticut, Maryland, Massachusetts, New York, one of my favorites, Oregon, Wisconsin, or the United Territories like Puerto Rico, or the United States Virgin Islands. Unfortunately, shout out to Trinidad, not Trinidad. Well, shout out Trinidad too, but where is it? St. Thomas, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but we cannot hire you for customer service, which is terrible, but it is what it is. Now, we are working on a different software and system that will allow us to hire people in these states. But as of right now, that is not the case. So I'm sorry, for customer service anyway. So why should you work here? Because we're amazing. We're great support system, great people, growth opportunities galore. You can become a manager, you can become an instructor, you can become a quality assurance specialist, you can become a chat support specialist. Yeah, isn't that cool? You don't talk to anybody. There are so many different directions you can go in just from this one department. You also can go into, like I said, other departments at the same time. So we're really big about that. So, we've had people that started working on the phones and now they're executives at the company. So it's all about what you want to do. A lot of growth opportunities, and we're here for it. We're here to support you and to see you be as successful as humanly possible. That's what we want. We have whole families working here. We have situations where brother and sisters are working here. A mom, daughter, and the aunt are all working here, so we don't mind nepotism because we are a family. And so we don't have a problem with a family working here because it's a great place to be. It really is. So if everything that I've said sounds like a place that you want to be, it sounds like an opportunity that you want to be a part of, we would love to have you. So if you're articulate, if you're professional, if you're punctual, in terms of being able to show up when you say you're going to show up, and if you really want a job that is going to be secure, that you're going to be able to have for a very long time, part-time or full-time, doesn't matter, because again, you make your own hours, then we would love to speak to you. We would love it. So we ask that you schedule an interview. Of course, you got to do what do you call it, your application, and then schedule an interview at a time of your convenience. After you do your application, you'll receive an email confirmation that we got it, and we'll ask you to go ahead and schedule an interview. And we will have expected that you watch this video first. Matter of fact, if you didn't watch the video, we'll tell you to reschedule because this was pretty, it's not long, but it's long enough. So we're not going to waste your time or ours. So make sure, if you know someone that you think this would fit, tell them watch the video first, because we assume, as we should, since we tell you it's a prerequisite to watch this video, that before you even applied, you understood who we are. So when we are doing our interview process, it's really about you, making sure that you're a good fit, because we don't hire everyone. We can't, because we have to, in order to keep it this awesome, that means that we have to make sure that you're going to be an asset to this company and that we're going to be a blessing to you. as in return. It's a two-way street. So you will also have to do a background check. And for some clients, they want a drug test as well. So do be prepared to do that. Now, after your interview, you'll receive additional instructions on how to do orientation videos, how to get your credentials and all that sort of stuff. Please remember that you are an independent contractor, so you are responsible for your own taxes. However, we do a free tax class during tax season to make sure everybody knows exactly what to do and how to make sure that they get a refund, and a good one as much as possible. Also, remember that the software usage fee is $19.75 per revenue cycle. That's the only thing that comes out of revenue, and that's before it even gets to us. And also, remember that, well, what else do I have to tell you? I'm just sitting here reading right now. And you're paid twice a week. I mean, twice a month. I think I mentioned that, by direct deposit or Cash App, and you receive your 1099 at the end of the year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, they will be answered during the interview process. And we hope to hear from you. If you watch this entire video, that means that you're strongly considering applying, and I can't wait to meet you. So take care. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. And thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit about NPR Virtual Solutions. Take care.